Mayor Dr. Phalatse will face yet another motion of no confidence today. That motion is expected to be brought by Jama-ah with poor service delivery and instability cited as the reasons. Let's get you a sense of what else we should know about that. Bring in the leader of Jama-ah, that's Hanif Hendricks, who joins us via our video link this morning. Mr. Hendricks, it's lovely to have you on the program. Thanks for making time to speak to us. So service delivery and instability being cited as these reasons, is that where it ends?
No, also the fact that financial control and proper financial budgeting is a major concern, and as you know, and also the coalition, the governing coalition, wants to put the city of Johannesburg in more debt. We don't want to use taxpayers' money or ratepayers' money to service debt. We want to use that money for service delivery. So Jama-ah provides secretarial services to the minority parties, and we have been examining over the past 6 months how the mayoral committee members and the chairs of committees are mismanaging the city of Joburg. And that's why it has been easy for us to get even members of the coalition to look at the merits and to join the minority parties for a motion of no confidence today. And I've looked at the numbers, I've looked at the responses, and we are very confident that the motion will succeed because there are 3 motions, each one supporting one another. So you have from 3 different political parties one of the best analysis of just how the city of Johannesburg is mismanaged. And yesterday, 2 days ago, on the sidelines of the State Memorial Service, I spoke to the leader of the official opposition. I spoke to the Premier, and my conclusion was that the motion will succeed today. However, when it comes to appointing a new mayor, the minority parties are taking the lead, and they will decide who will be the mayor. Obviously, I cannot disclose who the candidates are, but all top 3 candidates make the cut. So for the first time, we have 3 potential mayoral candidates that will take the city of Johannesburg forward, and we are very confident that the new mayoral committee members, and some may be of the previous governing coalition, that they will, in 100 days, make dramatic changes to the city of Johannesburg.
Right.
And one of the things is there will be no looting, there will be no corruption, and the residents of Joburg will be first and not political parties. That has been Jama-ah's position and condition to provide secretarial services, to lead most of the delegations to all the main stakeholders.
Sure. You know, forgive my cynicism, but if I were to receive a dime every time a council speaker in the city of Joburg said they were confident that their motion would be the one that made it, perhaps I wouldn't need a job. I mean, we've been here before in many instances, and I imagine that's the frustration for especially residents in Johannesburg.
Yeah.
So let me pose my question this way. In what ways do you reckon we could finally bring stability to the council? Because what is a salient concern is ways through which the wrangling, the mudslinging distracts councillors from getting to work, essentially.
Well, look, the people in the forefront that is going to take up the positions of chairpersons and mayoral committee members, they are working the ground. They have gone to communities like, for example, in El Dorado Park, in other areas, in Soweto, and they have given the communities undertakings on what they're going to do, and they've got endorsements from the communities. And they will be keen to deliver because they want to impress for 2024. So that is the carrot. You know, Jama-ah told them, guys, we need all to do well in 2024. So let us put our heads together. Let us monitor one another. Let there be peer group pressure from the minority parties. And we hope that a mayor will be elected from the minority parties. And I got an indication from the Premier of Gauteng that they don't have a quarrel with that because they are very, their candidate is a very good candidate, but also they say that the minority parties have put forward some excellent candidates. So even if if the African National Congress is saying that, it shows that the caliber of the people that are going to lead the city of Johannesburg will be different to what we've had in the past. For the 3 weeks that we governed, Al-Jama-ah was part of that structure, there were dramatic changes. We undid the harm that the Action SA did when they were in the mayorship, but then the court, obviously some procedures weren't followed. But this time we're following the procedures to the T.
Sure.
Secondly, the debate today will be of a very high standard, and your viewers need to listen to the merits of the 3 motions, each one complementing one another. So we are very confident that the mayor will be removed today. But the challenge is obviously is tomorrow, because there are one or more very good candidates that can lead the city of Johannesburg and bring prosperity not only to Johannesburg but to Gauteng and South Africa.
Got you. And I hear that. But my question is taking us a little step further. In what ways do we make sure that we prevent yet another motion being fought forward against whoever is elected? Because it seems like we've get into a trend, and it's just the beginning of this year at least.
No. Obviously we are very confident we have the numbers. And those political parties that are giving us the numbers, there's been party-to-party meetings. We've met with all the structures of the party. And so there has been commitment that we are all going to work together, because if this minority governing party don't succeed, it will be a blow to those political parties for the 2024 elections. So there is an incentive that we need to show the residents of the city of Johannesburg that here is a team that inshallah will do very well, and that they are all committed, and like I say, peer group pressure amongst us, the commitment of all structures of every political party that is giving the numbers, they are all on board. Whereas in the past you find that with the coalition government, all the structures were not on board. The Federal Council of the Democratic Alliance, they were not on board and overrule everything. Here we've got support from the top, and I not only spoke to the Premier, I made sure I spoke to other structures of the ANC, because I was in the first 3 rows of the state service, and all of them said, look, we are very confident that with Al-Jama-ah secretarial services and lobbying, you've all done your homework. Good luck.
All right.
The priority parties must decide who is going to govern the city of Johannesburg, and why can't minority parties also play a role in governing the city of Johannesburg? It can't be the parties who has the numbers only, because no one has got an outright majority. But the city of Johannesburg has sent the voters have sent a clear message, pick the best amongst you, and the best amongst the minority parties.
Correct. And I imagine it's the voters that are being prioritized as we try to worm our way through this process. Those sympathetic to the status quo will point to the fact that coalition governments are new to this country, and perhaps this is just part of what comes with that. However, there are suggestions that perhaps we should look at stabilizing things in a way that doesn't necessarily involve the relationships that parties have with each other. One of those suggestions is around putting a cap between the time at which you can put in a motion of no confidence and when that motion can be brought again, in an effort at the very least to give that person who either survived or is re-elected an opportunity to get some work done. Is that a intervention you'd support?
No, we don't support that. People were hanged for one man, one vote. So the principle of one man, one vote means that, there shouldn't be all these restrictions. You can't have a governing party governing without the numbers, and that's why the motion on the I think it's 2 to 10 billion rand loan, because they didn't disclose everything, didn't succeed. The governing coalition didn't have the numbers. You can't have a violation of the principle of one man, one vote. If you've got the numbers, then that means, that particular principle must prevail. So we don't agree with all these tactics of the DA Federal Council not to have one man, one vote. They will still want to rule like in the past, where whites with a minority can rule and share power without losing control.
I'm not sure I follow. I'm not saying that people can't necessarily vote. It's more of a question of whether or not it's reasonable for us to live in a context where a motion could essentially be brought forward every month if councillors had their way. And we actually do have some kind of model to work off. The situation in the National Assembly is very similar. If you have a motion of no confidence against the president, some time has to pass before you put in yet another motion. And the thinking behind there is that you need to have some way of bringing stability if your motion didn't make it.
You see, in politics, things happen overnight. The world economy, things happen overnight. We cannot wait for 6 months before doing another motion and let the voters suffer for 6 months or for 3 months. If councillors feel that things are going wrong and that the coalition government, for example, is still going on honeymoon and not serving the residents of Joburg, we need to step in immediately and go through the processes, get a programming committee to consider the motions, and then the numbers count. You have a democratic vote, one man, one vote. And if the programming committee, if they vote no, the motion must be tabled, then, it must be done. However, I would just like to suggest to the programming committee that they need to consider any motion of no confidence on its merits. Those who are proposing it must outline very very thoroughly what the merits are. If there are no merits, the programming committee must just say, sorry, the motion, is not going to be tabled. So members of the programming committee must take the interest of the residents of the city of Johannesburg first, and not political pressure, from the party bigwigs, whoever the party is, not only the Democratic Alliance.
All right. Hanif Hendricks, thanks very much indeed for speaking to us. Hanif is the leader of our Jama-ah. They're bringing forward today's motion against Dr. Phalatse. And let's see how it unfolds, as the cliche goes. Thanks very much indeed for your time.